One reason that I have a real struggle too watching TV is it puts you into a trance, and with the screen changes and the basically it's a flickering light. Look at the wall behind or around the room, especially if you're in a dark room. What's it doing? It's changing color and it just flipping back and forth. Basically, you're looking at a blinking light when you're watching TV. But the other thing, one of the other things is if they're channeling, if they're doing all these different things, and it turns off your frontal lobe, what messages are you allowing into your temple? And that's one of the things that I see. And where, like Scripture says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And I can't, in good conscience, sit and watch a lot of TV anymore. Just because it's like, okay, wait a minute, what am I doing? I mean, even being on the computer, I have trouble with that too. It's like, wait a minute, who's my master now? And we have to be mindful of that, of where our treasure is, there will our heart be also. It's kind of hard for the law to be written upon our heart if we never read the Bible, especially the Torah, where it lays out all the things. It's a baseline for where do we go, for how we should act and love one another. And one of the things that in some of the presentations I've watched, I believe it was the Media on the Brain seminar, where the guy was talking about when TV was instituted in the 1950s, the murder rate doubled because of TV. And when it happened in South Africa, when TV was introduced in Africa, the murder rate doubled, because what it does is someone who will, the guy was saying, it moves you one over. If you were someone who was calm or whatever, you might start saying something when someone cuts you off. If you're the one that'll say something, you might curse or swear or do something. But those that were on the very edge get pushed over the edge, and it moves people over. And even I Love Lucy and all this stuff, it's like when that one of the things that I heard was that with Lucille Ball, that she felt like some spirit was saying, take a chance, hon, or something like that. And you look at those episodes, that's which was supposedly good or what, harmless. But how many times was she trying to hide things from Ricky or whatever, and different, and lie or cheat or try to get benefit from those sorts of things? Or, I mean, some of these shows are depicting even old westerns and stuff, where they showed people being shot or people being killed. Maybe I'm a prude in this, but I see that, I'm starting to see that as why are we watching this? Even those things, why do we watch them? And if these people are getting into altered states of consciousness to play these roles, and I think it's kind of scary to some degree, especially with some things, and maybe why Heath Ledger died or killed himself or whatever, is when they talk about getting into character. When someone's getting into the character of a serial killer or some of these dark very, very dark movies especially. What are they doing? And are we going to really... TV and movies allow a bypass to the frontal lobe. And we become in a trance, and it becomes kind of a hypnosis. I personally don't want to expose my temple, this temple, to things that aren't godly. And do I fall? Yes. In certain things, yes, I do. I'm not perfect. I have to pray that Yahweh guard my temple. Help lock the gates to my temple. And what I see, what I hear, what I watch, I personally have to be mindful of that. And that, it's just watching these presentations and stuff about the music industry and about the TV and movies, and there's a group, Little Light Ministries, I would encourage people to look at. And they did a series called Battlefield Hollywood, and I've watched that too. And just all these things, it's eye-opening, and it's food for thought. So I just pray that you will give it some thought and think about your choices. I definitely have grown more and more to think about my choices and what I watch and what I listen to. And I just pray that you will. Shalom.